I don't think, I know there was. I wrote we did a tour in 83, I think it was, and I wrote a article questioning the honesty of pacifism, in the sense that it's very easy to preach it, but can you follow it through? But anyway, that was, you know, it was becoming obvious by then that, you know, there was a very distinct separation going on. And it wasn't just sort of the pacifist activist thing, it was the security, not security thing, or the sort of spiritual materialist thing, all sorts of different things, you know, there were schisms appearing. And so there's that. I mean, that's a simple thing, but it's quite an important thing, because some of the people were obviously sort of, well, they were sort of looking at it as a livelihood. Well, I don't get that. I don't understand livelihood. You know, I understand life, but I don't understand livelihood. You know, I think it's a sort of absurdity. We're not prostitutes. I'm not a prostitute.
I was actually quite ill, physically ill. I kind of wore myself out, because for me it was continual. You know, the band kind of rehearsed and did the gigs, and you know, I would be there doing the films and operating a lot of the stuff, but when I got back I would have to start a new cover, so it was quite an intense kind of 8-9 years. You know, when we stopped, we knew we were going to stop then anyway. We'd always said 1984, so when Andy left, I think 83 or beginning of 84, we knew that was a natural ending anyway, so there was no way we would replace him. He just wanted to get back to what he really wanted to do, was painting and stuff. And I think he was worn. I think everybody was worn out, quite honestly. You know, and also, you know, the whole way we'd been put on a pedestal, you know, and the way people were waiting for CRASS to, what should we do next, you know, and that wasn't what we were there for. You know, it was to empower people, not to empower people to say, well, what do we do now? You know, where do we go next? You know, that wasn't our role. You know, we were just trying to share maybe an insight that we felt we had and experiences that we'd had. In the very beginning, 1984 was the cut-off time anyway. If we couldn't say what we wanted to say in that time, then there was no point in going on. So,
then it would be an institution.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what it was becoming, and we weren't interested in it.
You know, 7 years away from your own being is a long time, and we all were.
Is that what it felt like?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we were living we were living we were living a theatre, you know, for day and night. You know, I remember once making love with Eve and thinking, oh, I'm making love to Eve Libertine. I'm not making love to Bron Jones, who's my girlfriend. You know, I'm making love to a sort of idea. You know, that sort of thing, and you sort of realise that actually, in 7 years you can become quite an idea of yourself, and not yourself, because you've forgotten who yourself was. Because every day, every fucking moment, you know, it's either in the studio, writing a song, doing an interview, being this, being that. You know, you didn't have time to know who you were, and that's why it was so painful for us when the band stopped, because suddenly, you know, you'd be sitting at breakfast and there'd be someone sitting the other, and you'd think, well, who the fuck are you? Because we hadn't got the common connection anymore.
I am alone. I don't know about you. And I am the moment. And I am the grace. And this is my time, and this is my place. I won't accept no sorry apology, no pale reflection of possibility. There is no force but my own.
In a way, when we were writing stuff, or when I was writing stuff for CRASS, you know, I was defining, you know, a way of living, you know, especially there is no authority but yourself. You know, which basically, I suppose because G and myself have stayed here, we've had to try and live up to that. You know, all the time we're being, like you've come here because of that. You know, basically to see if we were doing it. You know, well, that's true, isn't it, in a way? You know, to what extent did that dream work? And I mean, that's a question we both ask ourselves all the time. You know, to what extent does the dream work? You know, how could we make it work better? Commodity culture has got such a stranglehold, you know, and seems to be an increasing stranglehold that you know, the pockets of resistance you know, might be becoming very isolated.
Where are the angry young men and women of today that are actually saying, apart from little you might see a punk rock band in a pub somewhere, but where are these people in the establishment? Or in the established, you know, pop world or the music industry who are saying, this is fucking wrong, fuck you, stand up and, you know, what happened to that voice? It's all sort of gone.
You alone can do it. There is no authority but yourself.